Hey there! In this video, I'm going to show you how to set DNS records in GoDaddy. If you're using a different registrar or Cloudflare or cPanel, it's going to be a similar process, just a little different. But basically, you're going to be on your domain. The first thing you want to do is go to Manage DNS. There's going to be a number of records in there already. You don't need to change them. We're going to add new records. So click Add. And then let's take a look in Repco under Brands. We're going to add a brand. And let's say the subdomain we want to use is reviews.oilport.net. This is the example domain I'm using. So it's a CNAME record that I need to create. So I'm going to choose CNAME as my record type. The host is going to be reviews.oilport.net. So here's where it can get a little bit tricky. Depending on what you're using, whether you're in GoDaddy or a different registrar or Cloudflare, sometimes the host gets input as the entire host. And sometimes it gets input as just the portion that comes before the dot. So in this case, I'm going to put in the whole thing and see what happens, just as an example. We're going to set this to point to whitelabel.reviewgeneration.net. And TTL we can leave as default and save. So in this case, you can see what happened here is for www, which is also a CNAME, it's just the part before the dot. So for our CNAME, we also really just want the part before the first dot. We just want reviews there. So what this is actually going to do, since I added it this way, is this is going to create a CNAME that's actually reviews.oilport.net.oilport.net is what's going to end up happening with that. Which is not what we want. So in this case, with GoDaddy, I'm going to edit this and we're going to get rid of .oilport.net and we're just going to put in the part before the dot. I believe this is the most common. It's definitely for GoDaddy. Definitely Cloudflare operates the same way. But if your registrar is displaying the full host under name, you might need to put in the full thing. So it kind of depends. You might need to look for specific instructions for whatever registrar you're using. In most cases, you're just going to put in reviews here, and it's going to that's what's going to create it. If you need to check, you can always go to dnschecker.org. It's not going to propagate immediately, but say if I put in oilport.net CNAME. Actually, it's going to have to be the reviews.oilport.net CNAME search. There we go. So it's already propagated. That was really fast, and it's working. It's sending it to here. If I'd left it the other way, this wouldn't be working. So that's you can always check here to make sure that it's sending it to the right place. Then we're going to need to add a few more records. So once the brand is saved, let's say Oilport, this is kind of a weird brand. We're in the US, sender name Oilport. We're going to add the brand. And then once the brand loads, we're going to update the email settings. So go back to brands. There's Oilport here, pending. So this one should go live. I know that it's already live, so this should turn green within about an hour. And this one here, we're going to click the information here. And these are a few different types of records. So the first one's another CNAME. It's the same as what we just did. Same thing here though. So this CNAME is going to be email.reviews.oilport.net. I don't want to put the whole thing in, so I'm just going to take the part before the dot before the actual domain. Okay, so we're going to take this part, put it in here, CNAME, host email.reviews.reviews, but I don't need to put in the .oilport.net. Points to mailgun.org. Save. Add another one. SPF. This is a text record. Name is going to be reviews.oilport.net. So same thing. We're just going to need this part of it. And the text value. Save. So now we've got our verification and SPF, and next we're going to do the DKIM, which again, same thing. Everything except the actual domain itself, and that dot. Back into here, add, and DKIM is a text record. So we're going to select text, put in the host, put in the value, which is this whole thing down here, and save. And lastly, DMARC, same thing. Don't include the domain. Add, and again, DMARC is a text record. So text, host, text value, this whole thing here, and save. And lastly, we'll set the MX records. So again, name, don't include the domain, add, I believe that's also a text record, no, that's an MX record, sorry, MX, host, points to mx.mailgun.org or MXA, priority, so you'll also be asked for priority, which should be 10 for both records. So priority 10, save, and one more, MX. And this one points to mxb.mailgun.org, and the priority is also 10. Save. Oh, and you know what? I was rushing, and in that last MX record, I made a very common mistake, which is that I put the whole domain in there. And really, we just want reviews.reviews. So all of the records have been added. Can come back here in a couple of hours, and we should see that these are all green. And we should see we've already got our green check mark now for the live site. So if we visit reviews.oilport.net, we should get, site is still in progress, will be online soon. But the DNS has indeed propagated. So hope this is helpful, and we'll see you in the next video. Just wanted to touch back here quickly. I hadn't rendered the video yet, and I can see now that all of these DNS records were set correctly. We've got the green check here, and we've got the green check here. Like it says here, this could theoretically take up to 72 hours. Realistically, though, this happened in less than an hour, that these are both live. And you can see now that if we visit the website, we've got this sign-in page here. And if we configure the reseller settings, then this is not only going to be a sign-in page, but it's also going to be a place where people can sign up and subscribe to the software. So I will show that in another video.